Ben, thank you so much for joining us. It is the beginning of 2022. And just like we started last year, you were kind of stuck inside. COVID has gone on another crazy ride.
Yeah, COVID's ready to be back. It's not done with us yet. So we want to help companies plan and prepare as we start 2022 all over again here.
Yeah. And I think the genesis and backdrop of this conversation today is we're getting calls from clients and other companies, pretty desperately realizing they're going to have to cancel a lot of large volunteer engagements tied to conferences, tied to other in-person experiences, and quickly realizing the challenges of hitting their goals because COVID has shown its head again. And so I think the backdrop here is none of us know what's going to happen with COVID. None of us know what's going to happen with future in-person events. Obviously, there's a trend to working from home, but I think, Ben, I'd be really curious your take on the advice that you're providing to companies now, because our ultimate mission is just to have them reach their goals and have them volunteer and give back. And so I'm curious, when these situations happen, kind of what is your advice and what are you telling companies?
Yeah, well, thankfully now at this stage of the pandemic, we have the playbook, right? Like this happened last year, the same exact thing. We get a new variant, we get this new surge, and then everything shuts down again. And I think where companies are really feeling the pinch, especially focused in the world of corporate social responsibility, is engagement goals are falling short, right? Because we're canceling these events, people are done with virtual in some cases. There's a lot of reasons why we're missing our engagement goals. But one of the big reasons is just flat out that we have to cancel volunteer experiences, especially the in-person ones, because we have these things that we cannot control coming into our lives, like a new strain of COVID-19. And so, what we are really trying to guide companies to do is have a plan B. I think so many companies we run into, they are planning a large in-person event. Andy, you and I were just working on one. It was like a 2,000 person in-person volunteer experience. Things seem to be going really well during the planning cycles of October, November of 2021. And then of course we have a new variant and things have to shut down, and then we're not going to be able to engage those 2,000 folks because a plan B wasn't put in place. So I like to go with the Navy SEAL mantra of 2 is 1, 1 is none. And that really holds true as we come into 2022. And again, we've seen this happen. We know things are going to get canceled. So it's just about having backups. And I think with a lot of volunteer experiences, we have the capabilities today to, if you're having an in-person volunteer experience, that same kind of in-person volunteer experience can be flipped to a fully remote hybrid volunteer experience as well. So I think making the preparations in advance with the expectation that, hey, this in-person experience could be canceled. Hey, this hybrid volunteer experience could be canceled. What can we do to make sure we're still going to engage those employees no matter what? So I think that's some of the advice we've been giving folks.
Yeah, and I think I would double down on that. I mean, we've seen some of the smartest companies out there planning these in-person events, like you said, and when everything was great in September and October, planning these really for the beginning half of this year. And we've seen some really smart companies that actually plan one whole date. Let's say they're going to have it January 25th. Then they have a backup date, March 15th, and they have all the vendors booked for that, knowing that there's a chance a strain pops up. And they have all the potential participants knowing that. And so, if you are so focused on having in-person events, you want to bring people together, you should think about having 2 dates. We have been going through the swings of this for the last, too long now. And so you should be prepared that that's going to continue. So have 2 dates ready to go. And so everyone is prepped if you need to flip it. But if you don't feel so focused on having the in-person thing, there's so many other solutions out there with WeHero and other companies that are really providing hybrid and remote volunteering and doing that, because at the end of the day, employees want this, and they, companies really should be offering this regardless if they're doing it in person or not. And if they don't offer it, employees are going to be looking for other solutions for this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the date piece is such a good recommendation that we give folks, like book a few dates, block calendars for your employees. So if they can't make this one, they can make the next one. I think it's, all about right now investing in solutions that are flexible at this time. I think it's so critical. Don't pigeonhole yourself in one area with one format, because there's so many probabilities are pretty high that things are going to have to change and adjust. So be prepared.
Yeah. And obviously the reason we're doing this is, we saw, I think, right when COVID started in March of 2020, we saw so many people just pause volunteering. Mm-hmm. And think that it was going to be a temporary thing. And we didn't know at the time, but it left really Q4 is when everyone's like, hey, it'll be calmed down by then. We'll make up our engagement goals. And I think in 2021, people were more thoughtful, knowing they couldn't wait for this to end to hit engagement. I think I want to prevent, companies from just saying, hey, I'm going to push it off, another 6 months and pick it up in the second half of the year in hopes that everything is all right. Maybe that's a fine solution, but we don't know, and no one really knows. And so we think it's a great reason to spread it out and just be flexible. It's going to make all the engagement goals far more achievable.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. And then I'd also, keep encouraging companies too. There's companies that are planning large in-person events. And sometimes the in-person piece, it's not the issue. It's the number of people that are going to be at those locations as well. So if you're really focused on getting back into the world of in-person, consider smaller groups as well. Break that out a little bit, do different geographical locations. If you have employee resource groups, that's a great way to diversify how many people are volunteering in person at once. So diversify, play it safe as we ease back into this world of in-person, hybrid, virtual, whatever the format may be.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And the last thing I'd say is just give us a call. I mean, we are talking to so many companies right now about different solutions and rescheduling, and ultimately just trying to get everyone to hit their goals. And COVID's not making it easy on us or anyone, but hey, we still got to do it and keep moving things forward and helping those that really need help. And so can't stop volunteering because the need is even greater than before.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is only one piece of why engagement numbers are low again. And so if you are curious of ways to continue increasing engagement numbers across your company, Andy and I have a number of other videos that we've done on increasing engagement. We also have resources on our blog as well for ideas on how to do that. So check out those resources because we want to make sure you're reaching those goals that you have.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ben, for the quick time, and stay safe out there.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Reach out to us if you need help.